Good morning, it's February 8th, and today we're going to look at what's going on in the fixed income market as well as the dollar. We've been talking a little bit about how important it is to watch that dollar, and this week it's no different. Today I'm going to show you two different areas, one on Bloomberg, one on Longbow. And the first on Bloomberg, I've got a chart here, and the white line is UUP, so that's the ETF for the dollar, the US dollar, and the blue is the TLT. So think of longer term treasuries, longer term fixed income. And what you can see here is that as the dollar is going up, guess what's happening? The price of the bonds or fixed income, the treasuries, are going down. And so that makes a lot of sense because when bonds are down, it means that rates are up. And so when yields are high, guess what international investors want to do? They want to put money into the US markets, and that drives up the dollar value. That's one kind of simplified way to look at it. There's lots of obviously more complex relationships, and are people doing things ahead of time, before cycles happen, after cycles happen, things like that. But that's one simplified way to look at it. Before we leave this chart, I want to show you what's been happening. So since September, what you've seen is the dollar, it's been going down in value relative to other currencies. And then recently you've seen a little pop up. And so what have you seen here with the TLT? So it's been strengthening and then more recently going down. So we're going to really want to see, is this just a little blip on a continuation of the dollar depreciating, or is this, was this a head fake in a longer intermediate term trend? So now we're on the Longbow platform on my morning tab. That's where I get all the good stuff for you guys. And something that I saw, a pattern that I saw on the top 25 tab, I've put here. So we've got, the GOVT, which is a treasury bond ETF, the 7 to 10 year UST. We've got IEF, so that's another 7 to 10 year treasury ETF. And then the 20-year, remember we talked about the TLT versus the dollar, and then more extended duration, so the EDV. And I'm going to contrast that with the dollar. And so what we've seen this morning is that the odds, and actually they've gone up since this morning, the odds here are very significantly weighted to the upside relative to other opportunities in the market. So they were on the top 25 odds to the upside side, the left side of this tab this morning. And we can kind of see that here, right? So odds of 8.6, 7.7, you kind of go down. When you get a little bit too close to boundaries, this is what happens. So just so you can kind of see here visually what's going on, right? And so big odds to the upside relative to where it's been trading. And then you contrast that with the dollar. And so the dollar obviously is not the top end of its range, but it's the odds are negative. So that makes sense, right? So if you're expecting more downside in the dollar, you then would expect more upside in these treasury-related securities. And it's interesting because all of these are neutral. It's almost like everyone's waiting to see what's going on with them. So I'd put that note into your head. And then medium term, in terms of the treasury ETFs, those are all neutral as well. So you only have the medium term bearish because this has been going on for a little bit longer here since the fall. And so again, we really would want to see these trends continue. We want to know what's going on with the dollar. That's going to give you a better idea of timing if you're looking to add to your fixed income portfolio with any kind of duration. Obviously, if you could do one thing we've been doing in the treasury market is buying really short-term ones and holding them through to fruition. So whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or yielding on an annualized basis over 4%. So that's pretty attractive for if instead of just keeping things in cash or some kind of money market, if you're waiting to have more duration in fixed income, and you're not quite sure what's going to be going on with the dollar and rates. Obviously, there's been a lot of Fed speak going on lately and a lot of confusion. That's one way to think about it. But you can keep tabs on this relationship here on your Longbow dashboard. That's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.